We've all been sold the same tired story. We are told that aging is just rust on a machine, that losing your energy, your memory, and your vitality is simply the price of getting older. But what if they are wrong? What if the secret to reversing the clock isn't waiting to be discovered in a sterile, modern pharmacy, but was already planted in a Middle Eastern garden over 2,000 years ago? Ancient kings, biblical prophets, and now modern scientists are all pointing to the exact same truth. The food they ate wasn't just fuel, it was medicine. Today, we are unlocking 20 biblical superfoods that literally bring life back to your cells. These aren't fads, these are the ancient pillars of life. Make sure you stay with me until number 17. It's a wild, rough little plant that was used for sacred rituals, and it literally cleanses you from the inside out. And you won't believe what number 7 did for ancient royalty. If you love discovering God's natural pharmacy, make sure to subscribe right now. Let's step back in time. Imagine the hot sun beating down on a dusty Judean hillside. A farmer is taking heavy green fruit and pressing it under massive stones until thick, golden liquid pours out. Remember the story of the Good Samaritan? When he found a wounded man on the road, he didn't have bandages or pills. He poured oil and wine into the man's wounds. Kings were anointed with it to signify long life and health. Have you ever wondered why? Modern science found a compound in extra virgin olive oil called oleocanthal. It acts almost exactly like a natural ibuprofen in your body, cooling the silent inflammation that causes us to age. We traded this sacred gold for cheap, highly processed seed oils in plastic bottles. It's time to bring the gold back to your kitchen. Drizzle it raw over your food. Let it heal you. And speaking of healing, our next food wears a crown of its own. 2. The ruby treasure. Crack open this tough, leathery red sphere, and your hands are suddenly stained. Inside, it looks like a treasure chest filled with hundreds of shining, watery rubies. When God instructed the Israelites on how to make the high priest's sacred garments, he told them to weave the image of this specific fruit around the hem of his robe. Why pomegranates? Because they are the ultimate symbol of abundant life. Scientists recently looked inside those red seeds and found punicalagins. This compound literally signals your aging cells to clean out their own trash. It's like a reset button for your body. But over time, we got lazy. We swapped the messy, beautiful fruit for pasteurized juice boxes loaded with sugar. Buy the whole fruit, eat the seeds, feel the life in them. But if you want something even sweeter, look to the rocks. The golden shield. It's thick, wild, and incredibly sweet. Picture John the Baptist wearing camel's hair, standing in the rugged wilderness. He survived out there on locusts and raw honey. God promised his people a land flowing with milk and honey. But why was this sticky syrup so vital to ancient survival? Raw honey isn't just sugar. It is packed with living enzymes and local plant pollen. When you eat it raw, it acts as an invisible shield for your immune system, fighting off seasonal threats. Today, factories boil our honey at high heat, killing all the life inside it, and pump it into plastic bears. Find it raw, find it local. Now, let's talk about the miraculous poultice of kings, the healer's fruit. King Hezekiah is lying on his deathbed. He is out of time. The prophet Isaiah walks in, but he doesn't bring a magic potion. He asks for one remarkably simple thing, a lump of figs. Isaiah applied the pressed figs directly to the king's life-threatening boil. The king recovered and was granted 15 more years of life. What makes the figs so powerful? Figs are deeply rich in potassium and dense fiber, which work together to steadily support healthy blood pressure and sweep the gut clean. We replaced this incredible ancient fruit with artificially flavored fig cookies and sugary snacks. Reclaim the real fig. Eat it dried or fresh. We are just getting started. Wait until you see the pungent root that caused a massive rebellion in the desert. Up next at number 5. The rebel root. The Israelites are wandering in the scorching Sinai desert. They have manna from heaven. They are finally free from slavery, but they are weeping. Why? They tell Moses they are craving the garlic of Egypt. The pyramid builders ate it daily for sheer physical strength. So what were the Israelites actually missing? When you crush a clove of fresh garlic, it creates a powerful compound called allicin. It is fiercely studied today for its ability to support heart health and fight off microscopic invaders. We forgot its power because we started using stale garlic powder from a jar to save time. To get the medicine, you must crush it fresh. Let it sit for 10 minutes and eat it. 6. The joy of Cana stone jars, standing waist-high, filled to the absolute brim. Jesus is at a wedding in Cana, and they have run out of wine. He doesn't create water, he creates the finest wine. Grapes and the wine they produce are the biblical symbol of joy, harvest, and the new covenant. But what is hiding inside that dark purple skin? A famous compound called resveratrol. It exists to protect the grape from harsh weather, and when you consume it, it acts as an armor for your heart and your skin, fighting the daily damage of aging. To get the blessing, eat the dark grapes whole, seeds and all. Speaking of seeds, here is the secret that fulfilled our first curiosity loop. 7. The blossoming stick. Imagine a dry wooden stick. It has been dead, carved, and carried as a staff for months. But overnight in the tabernacle, Aaron's rod suddenly sprouts white blossoms and yields sweet, ripe almonds. The almond is the biblical symbol of chosen authority and rapid, bursting life. But why did ancient royalty prize them? Almonds are loaded with natural vitamin E and healthy fats that literally guard your brain tissue against oxidative rusting. They keep the mind sharp. But today, we ruin them by roasting them in cheap, inflammatory oils and covering them in salt. Eat them raw. Soak them in water overnight, just like the ancients did. Next, breathe in the scent of the temple. 8. The holy spice. Close your eyes and imagine the scent of the ancient temple in Jerusalem. It is warm, sweet, and powerful. When God gave Moses the recipe for the holy anointing oil, he commanded him to use sweet cinnamon. It was a spice so precious it was heavily guarded and worth more than gold. Why? Modern research has shown that cinnamaldehyde, the active part of the spice, may help your cells respond better to insulin, beautifully balancing your blood sugar after a meal. We took this holy spice and started dumping it on giant, sugary baked goods, canceling out its benefits. Put a dash of real Ceylon cinnamon in your morning coffee instead. From a sweet spice, we move to a savory mistake. 9. The birthright bowl. A hungry, exhausted hunter comes in from the wild. He smells a rich, red stew bubbling over an open fire. Esau was so desperate, so blinded by his hunger, that he sold his entire birthright, his future, his inheritance, for just one bowl of lentil stew. Was it just hunger, or was the food that good? Lentils are an absolute powerhouse of folate and iron. They provide a slow, steady release of grounded energy that outlasts any modern energy drink. We traded them away for convenient fast food because they take time to cook. But a simple bowl of lentil soup is long-lasting life. Let's move from the stew to the survivor grain. We are halfway there. Before we uncover the miracle bread of the prophet Ezekiel, take 1 second to hit that like button to help spread this message. Now, what simple food fed 5,000 hungry people on a hillside? 10. The loaves of the multitude. A young boy steps forward in a massive, hungry crowd. He hands over his simple lunch, 2 small fish and 5 barley loaves. Barley was the food of Ruth as she gleaned in the fields. It was the everyday, humble grain of the working man. But it holds a magnificent secret. Barley contains a unique fiber called beta-glucan. As it moves through your body, it acts like a sponge, sweeping bad cholesterol and toxins right out of your system. We forgot about barley because we learned how to refine wheat into fluffy, dead white dust. Go back to the ancient, chewy grain. Put it in your soups. 11. The desert caramel. Towering palm trees rise out of a dry, cracked, unforgiving desert. High at the top, hanging in massive clusters, is a sticky, caramel-like fruit. When the Bible talks about the land of milk and honey, historians believe the honey was actually a thick, sweet syrup made from dates. It was King David's favorite source of quick energy. Dates are packed with rare antioxidants that are highly studied for protecting the human brain from age-related inflammation. We abandoned dates the moment we discovered cheap white sugar. Swap your processed sugar for a whole date. It will satisfy your craving and protect your mind. From the towering palm, we look down at something incredibly small. 12. The seed of faith. Hold out your hand. In your palm is a seed so incredibly small, it looks like a speck of yellow dust. You can barely feel it. Jesus said, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move.'" From this tiny speck grows a massive, sprawling plant. Inside that tiny seed are glucosinolates. When chewed or ground, these compounds activate enzymes in your liver that hunt down and neutralize cellular damage. We forgot its power because we turned it into a bright yellow paste and squeezed it onto hot dogs. Buy ground mustard seed. Sprinkle it on your meats and vegetables. Now, prepare for the spice of kings. 13. The crimson thread. It is dawn. Workers are carefully walking through fields, plucking deep crimson threads from the center of beautiful purple flowers by hand. Saffron is mentioned in the Song of Solomon as a treasured, fragrant plant of the royal garden. It is the most expensive spice on earth. Science reveals that saffron contains crocin. This bright yellow pigment has been rigorously studied for its ability to naturally lift mood and protect aging memory. We forgot it because it is simply too expensive for the average modern pantry. But a tiny pinch in a pot of rice is all your body needs. Next, let's look at the bread from heaven. 14. The manna seed. The morning dew lifts in the desert, leaving delicate white flakes on the ground. The Israelites have never seen anything like it. When Moses described the miraculous manna from heaven, he said it looked like coriander seed. It was their daily bread, their pure survival. Coriander contains linalool, a powerful compound that instantly helps ease digestion and calm an upset, anxious stomach. Today, we just view it as a pretty green garnish called cilantro, or a dusty spice in the back of the cabinet. It is a healer. Chew the seeds, you are doing great. But we are fast approaching number 17, the legendary purifier of the blood. First, let's look at the tearjerker of the garden. 15. The papery bulb. Pull it from the earth, brush off the dirt, and peel back the dry, papery layers. The moment you cut into it, it brings water to your eyes. Onions were another food the Israelites wept for in the desert. They were absolutely essential to ancient diets, stringing them up in homes to last through the winter. Onions are one of the world's richest sources of quercetin. This acts like a natural antihistamine in the body, cooling down allergic reactions and opening up the airways. We forgot their raw power because we started deep frying them in greasy batter. Eat them raw on your salads, or lightly sauté them. 16. The orchard's comfort. Imagine resting under the shade of a heavy-laden tree, breathing in the crisp, cool autumn air, holding a bright red fruit. "Refresh me with apples," the bride cries out in the Song of Solomon. It was the ancient symbol of deep comfort, healing, and romantic love. The skin of the apple contains pectin, a special fiber that acts as the perfect food for the good bacteria in your gut, literally rebuilding your microbiome. But modern agriculture engineered them just to be massively sweet, and we peel off the skin where all the medicine lives. Buy them organic and eat the skin. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the Great Purifier. 17. The Sacred Brush. A father holds a bunch of rough, leafy green branches. He dips them in blood and strikes the doorposts of his home in Egypt, protecting his family from the plague. King David cried out in his darkest moment, "Purify me with hyssop, and I shall be clean." Hyssop was the biblical plant of absolute physical and spiritual cleansing. Scientists found it is packed with rosmarinic acid, a compound actively studied for its ability to clear deep respiratory congestion and support the lungs. We completely forgot about hyssop because modern cough syrups took its place. But a cup of hyssop tea is like a breath of pure, healing air for your lungs. Let's move from the rough brush to the cooling leaf. 18. The cooling leaf. Take a bright, fuzzy green leaf. Crush it deeply between your thumb and index finger. Instantly, a chilling, sharp, incredibly fresh aroma fills the room. Mint was so highly valued in biblical times that the Pharisees meticulously tithed it, counting out their mint leaves to give a tenth to the temple. Mint contains raw menthol. When you consume it, it acts as a natural antispasmodic, instantly relaxing the muscles of your digestive tract and easing pain. We reduced this ancient medicine to artificial flavoring for chewing gum and toothpaste. Brew real mint leaves in hot water after a heavy meal. Next, we pull a hardy green from the mud. 19. The river stalk. Hands reach into the muddy banks of the Nile River, pulling up a thick, beautiful stalk that fades from pure white at the root to dark green at the top. Leeks were plentiful in the ancient world, providing the deep, fibrous foundation of the diets of workers, builders, and prophets alike. Leeks are packed with dense, prebiotic fibers. They don't just feed you, they serve as pure fertilizer for the immune-boosting bacteria in your lower gut. We ignore the leek at the grocery store today because it takes a little work to wash the dirt out, opting for easier veggies. Bring back the leek. Make the ancient soups. And finally, we reach the grand finale, the staff of life. 20. The prophet's bread. A man is grinding golden stalks of wheat, mixing it with beans and seeds, and baking it over an open fire. God gave the prophet Ezekiel a very specific recipe. He told him to combine wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and spelt into one bread. Why this exact mix? When you sprout and combine these ancient grains, it breaks down their anti-nutrients. It unlocks pure, absorbable zinc, iron, and amino acids. It becomes a complete protein. We forgot this because we fell in love with mass-produced, heavily sprayed, fluffy white bread that spikes our blood sugar and makes us tired. Sprout your grains. Find real Ezekiel bread. The staff of life has returned. The conclusion. We have spent decades looking for health in a laboratory, but the Creator gave us a garden. These 20 foods aren't just calories, they are ancient, living information. They are instructions that tell your aging cells to repair, to fight, and to live. We just forgot how to listen to them. Which of these 20 ancient miracles surprised you the most? Was it the life-saving fig or the purifying hyssop? Tell me down in the comments right now. I read every single one. If this video brought you hope today, please subscribe to the channel and share this with someone you love who needs to hear it. Remember, your body is a temple. It's time to start feeding it like one.